Yo guys, Jinsk here, and it has been a minute since I did this, but with the season ending, um, I would guess like one more month until the pre-patch comes, and with Wrath of the Lich King coming, I haven't noticed as many lock druids, at least at the higher ratings, so I decided to help out with one of the matchups that it's probably hard, which is DPR, Disc Priest Rogue, or Rogue Priest. Now, I'm gonna show you two games, and I'm gonna analyze those games and where we did some mistakes. I don't really remember those games that well because it was a few weeks ago. I haven't done that much twos. I'm doing twos 2v2 now a little bit more since the season is ending. So I hope you guys enjoy. I haven't made many videos because I've been streaming more. So I'm gonna leave the link to my Twitch channel below, so you can watch and ask questions in real life. And I hope you guys enjoy this, and it helps you out with the season push, whatever that is for you. And I'm gonna put it in the screen now. I haven't played with Sebe, which was my usual druid. He's living his best life, so we gotta respect that. And I've been playing with Max, which is a really chill, really cool guy, and we've been actually pretty high. We are gonna go back to doing twos, but the season ending announcement has not been made, so we are not in a rush. We are just playing whatever to one rust, and this was a session. It was actually one of our first sessions, I think, but I'm not sure. But let's put some music and enjoy the game. I'm gonna show you two different rogue priests, however. The first one, which is this, was a bit easier, I think. Which one is it? Let's see. It's a 6-minute matchup. Okay, so usually what I like going up, straight up to the priest, and I spam my macro. I get a renew, I call my pet, and I get in combat. The reason for this is just simple. I don't want to get purged before they open in a sap, and like this you can start devouring the buffs. I resist the fear, you resist my devour. What you want to get, it's the shadow protection, so you can spell lock and not get as many devour resists. Now the rogue, at this point we know the rogue is looking for my druid. My druid is right here, and what you want to mostly do on this matchup, it's simple. You want to do as much pressure on the priest as you can while CCing the rogue. Now this doesn't mean you can't kill the rogue. It just means that in order to kill the rogue, he can't have cloak, and the priest, if he's undead, he can't have either trinket or will, or at least will. Will, it's a must to be on cooldown. I start mana draining because you mostly likely win on mana. We find the rogue, and I fear with the dots. He already has one dot. And the reason why I do this, by the way, is just I swap the fear. The reason why I fear and the CS, it's so the priest can't dispel, since there's no dispel protection besides the dots. Now I swap the fear as the CS ends because the priest is already so low, and I try to pump him. This is what you need to try to do. He doesn't trinket the bash. I coil him off. He gets the shield though. And now I fear the rogue because the priest is in a coil. And by the way, don't be scared of Prayer of Mending bouncing. I know it's a lot of players are scared of Prayer of Mending bouncing, but you need to have several dots on the rogue to protect the fears and the roots. The fear I get my druid in a fear, which is really good since he had the Shadow Earth Pain. I get my fear resisted, and now I fear the priest. I get the shadow protection, and now we can start pumping a little bit more. I swap the fear and CS the priest, here we go. And we get will because of it. Now it means that he needs to start healing first. And now I can fully fear for 2 second fear the rogue, and my druid can get some space here. My curse of exhaustion should have come faster. Now the priest goes into out of line of sight, my druid uses an S clone on the rogue, and we are kinda chilling. Now the pillar game will start very soon. Rogue preps, and I have some pressure on the priest. He uses Battle Master, and we go in to try do some damage and finish off the priest. He resisted bash though, so it's a bad play because of RNG, only because of RNG, else that bash would have been a trinket. I get a fear ward, and now I can fear the priest, and the reason why I want to fear the priest is because this one has cloak, uses trinket instead of will. I re-fear him, and I get the trinket and the will in one go, so I swap the fear, no trinket, no will, and the CS. Now he has fear coming out, so so this CS, besides preventing the rogue from being dispelled, also allowed my druid to come out of the kidney and not get feared. Now the priest is on. At this point, rogue doesn't have cloak, priest doesn't have will or trinket, rogue doesn't have trinket or will as well, so you can kill, for 40 seconds you can kill one of these two guys. Since the rogue is not really doing anything now, I'm trying to kill the priest is on at this point as well, and the rogue will start to try to stop me. I shadow ward the Shadow Fiend, so he doesn't get mana, and I don't get pushed back obviously by the damage. You can do it since he does shadow damage. And here we start to be aggressive. It's a full blind though, so I need to be careful. I juke the kick, but I get kidneyed. I still have trinket, but there's no point. I don't get the Shadow Earth Pain, and now I call the rogue. He dispels. It was a bad coil because I didn't have enough debuffs. I should have completely debuffed him. He's mana burning me, which does nothing. I only have 3 wounds, but now I see the cloak coming, so I don't really want to go on the rogue. Now we can force cloak by just dotting him up, but I don't want to do that. I want to go on the priest. We get clone. And now I'm chilling. I fear the rogue, and then I swap the fury. That's the fear though. Some priests will start doing this at higher ratings. The second fear breaks instantly, and now the rogue is gonna open on the pets, probably. We will see. No, he goes on the druid to do one more go, but this go it's very scuffed because he doesn't have vanish, he doesn't have prep, he doesn't have blind, and the priest is on. So I should be able to help, and I time my fear. Obviously think of dynamic DR, so sometimes you need to delay this fear. But I get a fear, and I think I CS the priest. No, I don't. Now I do it. Nope. And off the fear, he gets the clone, and the rogue can't really trinket unless he wants to use cloak. Check how I'm keeping my bet on the priest, and I'm trying to get odds on him. Now I can actually kill the rogue. When priests play like this, and now they start the pet attack, so the priest can drink. When rogues play like this, or priests, you need to get pressure on the rogue to force them out. Also, you can have your druid drinking. It doesn't have innervate, so we can just have the druid drinking. My position here is just so we can get CC on the priest. And we do a... I think we swap on the rogue now. I'm gonna start fully dotting him. No, not yet, because I see that the priest trinket is coming out. So you can still kill through through trinket. Now it's a blind, we trinket, and we go ham on this priest. He uses will, he resists an immolate. I fear the rogue so he doesn't kill the pet, held fun of the pet and kept my... I think at this point I'm like, okay, if they are gonna play like this, let's just kill the rogue. There's no point. So we get a clone here, and I'm gonna try to fear the priest off. He deaths it. And push back, obviously. If they keep playing like this, you have two options. You either go on the rogue, or you keep pushing on the priest. To push the priest, what you do is, and I probably do this here, you can fear the rogue and get lucky and the rogue goes into the opener, so the priest needs to come out and you just CC him or dot him. Or you push the priest, like I'm gonna do now, towards the druids. And you ask for something on the priest, which we got it. Here I'm completely sure that we are gonna get cloak. The reason is, priest is Zoom, he was CC'd for a few seconds, and the rogue had full dots. There's no way the priest can heal this, and it's what happens. We don't get a trinket, but we can kill even with trinkets. So now my strat is to kill the rogue, and you can see it by using Agony. I dot up the rogue, my druid is CCing the priest. Priest trinkets the clone light to try and get a paints up, which he does. I CS him, he kidneys me, now I use the trinket because I have a Shadow Bolt, and I try to get the fear, which I do, and now it's over. I try to get the shield, I get the shadow protection instead, but it's completely fine. And this was a few weeks ago when I think it was the first time or the second time I played with this druid in 2s. Or maybe 3rds, I don't remember. Now I'm gonna show you another one. This one is a bit higher. And this one is scary because these guys do an all-in. They either all-in me or the priest, or the druid with the full dispels. Now they are alliance, which makes the comp a little bit easier. But keep in mind that my druid has only played like warrior druid the entire expansion, and I haven't played 2s in a while. So priest rogue hasn't been that easy for us. We've been losing to double glaive rogue that goes on the pet behind the pillar and kills it in like super fast. So the last Q session we lost to priest rogue. It was because of that, but then we decided to do other stuff. On this game we haven't been struggling too hard. At this point we haven't struggled too hard. This gave us a run for our money though. So I parked the pet there so I can dispel the priest, and I can keep dispelling the priest. Now I could have just hit the pet with a buff to get in combat. Doesn't really matter because these guys don't go for me or don't go for sap on me. I'm devouring everything, and every time this happens, this is really good. I CS the priest, there you go, I CS the priest because I want to prevent the kidney. So I fear and then coil, and now we are completely fine. And the reason why I do this, by the way, it's because they've been all-inning my druids every single game. So I know the strat that they want. I don't even dot the rogue, I dot the rogue now, but I want to keep exhaustion at all times. This opener was already bad for them, they go for a blind and they go on me, but I still have the priest feared. So it's hard, and now let's see if they go for the sap. They don't really go for the sap, which is weird, right? Because you committed the blind, you didn't get the trinket, which means that you're behind, if that makes sense. I get my psychic screen, we fully CC, and there you go. Like my druid keeps the priest in place, so I can dot up. This rogue kicked me instantly, and the priest gets away. But now I'm gonna fear I use trinket here because look at my HP. Priest doesn't have a trinket, Rogue still has Trinket, and it's on DR, so I need to fear this guy and CS the priest. And since I faked the kick, I wanted to, or I was kicked, I faked the kick here, and now he cloaks. Now, since he has cloak, I know he's gonna Cloak of Shadows the fear, so I use my fear instead on the priest, and the rogue is coming off DR on clone, so we can get a full clone, and if he trinkets, we can get a full fear. Which is what we do, I think. He resisted clone. He doesn't trinket though. So if he doesn't trinket, I'm gonna keep dotting up the priest. He gets the fear because he got feared into it, but I got my Void Star carrying me, the pet resisted and dispelled max. Here, I want to get more CC on this rogue, so we just start dotting him up. He doesn't have cloak as well. Priest doesn't have trinket, which means we can actually kill the rogue. We get a clone, and at this point I want to push in for the priest. I'm still not sure if I want to push in for the priest, so I try to kill the rogue. So I come back, and the reason is the priest, this priest, before, he lined me a lot. I get a fear on the rogue, he teams the brakes, I go for another fear, he kicks me. My druid already innervated, which means in terms of mana, we are not that far ahead. But the rogue doesn't have, or didn't have cloak, now he has. I use will here. I want to pressure the priest because he's not using mana at the moment. So again, once again, they keep lining. He kicks early. My pet is still on the priest, and like this we can't really play. We are not getting lucky with the abolishes in terms of the crippling. So I'm gonna bring the rogue into Africa. He goes on my pet, but I do something, which is I just summon a new pet. He still wants to hit my pet. Now I did this so the druid could drink, and I'm gonna get the DI. And he's going on the pet, obviously. He sheep shot it. And I'm gonna summon a new pet. Now, this is a soft reset, because the priest has no... has a lot of mana, again. And here I insta fell on because I see the rogue is gonna get a re. And I get it before the sap. And they go on me without Soul Link. We got a clone, a full clone. I still don't have Soul Link because he sapped before I could do it. And now I Soul Link first global. I tried to get a Fear Ward, I'm pretty sure. I actually don't try to get a Fear Ward. I should have already pressed it, but yeah, just everything resists in this game. Okay, so Rogue has no trinket, the priest is in a CC and Rogue has no cloak. This is our 1 minute window. You have these windows, by the way. Just don't waste too much time actually trying to kill the Rogue if the window is not that big. Like, you should, the moment he cloaks, you should try to kill the Rogue. I get a fear, he trinkets fears me, I have will, so I use will, and now I re-fear. And the game is over at this point, because no cloak, Shadow Bolt proc, it was just a must. Devourer resisted, of course. He step kicks me, he kidneys me, I trinket, we still have a lot of CC and I have a CS if needed. And it wasn't needed. So, as you can see, like, Priest Rogue, it's really hard. It's actually really hard, especially as the priests get more and more PvE gear. And usually you want to kill the priest, and what we did here doesn't really happen against really good rogues, because they just lie. So they only go with cloak. So you need to be patient, but at some point, if the rogue does a mistake, like going into the open without a cloak, or the priest goes into the open without the rogue having cloak, you can finish off a rogue. Now, these games are always around 5 to 6 minutes, And then it depends, like you need to recognize really fast if they are going all in, because if they are going all in, you need to probably send the coil. The CS needs to be a blanket to get a fear on the rogue while the priest is coming in, and then you coil the priest into a fear on the priest with the rogue super slowed, or at least you have the time to get dots on the rogue. Like you saw at the start, you have time to get dots on the rogue and you get a full fear on the rogue. Now if it's double undead and they do an all-in like that, it's really hard to stop. But they can also do an all-in on you, which means the priest just goes ham on these spells, and that requires you to ask the druid to CC the rogue as much as you can. And like that, you need to dot the rogue so the roots stick, so it doesn't instantly dispelled. And you need to fake the rogue, and you need to cast fears on the priest if the rogue is in a clone. Like mostly, what you need to do against priest rogue is just hold the pressure, the momentum, the initial momentum, which is really hard against some good teams. Hold the initial momentum, and recognize if your druid needs to recognize if he needs to trinket the blind. Usually you don't need to trinket the first blind unless they are going absolutely nuts, and if you do trinket the blind or your druid trinkets the blind, then you need to chill in some way, and your druid needs to be max range when the second blind is coming, because this is where they kill you. Usually it's on the second blind, even when they all in, because they all in, they do the blind, your druid trinkets, and then on the second blind they have they still have prep, and they will kill you, or the druid, depending. So yeah, just try to hold their momentum while building some momentum. The moment the priest is zoom, you can be more aggressive. You can leave the pet, for example, let's say this is one of the pillars and the priest is here. You can leave the pet here, especially if the rogue has double glaives, and you can go here and try to push them towards your druid for CC, like a clone or a root or both. And then you need to recognize when you can kill the rogues. Does the priest has will or a trinket? No. Does the cloak does the rogue has cloak? No. Then you go on the rogue. But don't overcommit. Don't go completely ham, especially if he has cloak, because you won't kill a good rogue. And don't put yourself in a position where then it's really hard to come back. Also, what you can do is like soft resets. You send the pet, they're running around, your druid goes to drink, you come back, and you start summoning a pet. And the rogue is hitting the pet, so he doesn't get in combat, and if he stops hitting the pet and your pet is like full HP, for example, then you don't even need to summon, right? You can just stop the summon cast and start casting Rain of Fire, which I never did there, but usually there's a lot of games where you just cast Rain of Fire and your druid goes to drink. You can lose on mana, by the way. You can lose this matchup on mana as well, so your druid needs to be very scared of mana, and you need to be very scared of sending the pet or going behind the pillar if your druid is drinking. If your druid is drinking, you can send the pet, of course, but you need to be in a line where you can, in a position where you can summon again. If you can't, just use Rain of Fire and stop them from drinking behind the pillar. Just be patient. Now, when you can get pressure is when you get a shadow protection from the priest and when the rogue doesn't have cloak, and that's when you need to recognize. You can try to bait them into the open. If they don't fall the bait, just push in yourself, leave the pet behind, force them to go to the druid roots, clones, roots one, clones the other, you go on the rooted one, you can maybe fear the rooted one and then go on him if it's the priest, or you can just fear the cloned one. Let's say you want to kill the rogue, you just root the rogue, you dot him up, you fear the priest after the clone, and you try to kill the rogue. There's no script. What you need to recognize is, are they going all in? By going all in is the priest is fully dispelling, is using Shadow Fiend in the first like few seconds of the game, or yeah, few seconds of the game, like the first minute of the game he uses Shadow Fiend to keep the mana high so he can keep purging. Are they going full ham on my druid? What can I do? Okay, I need to fear the rogue to give him a breathing room. The best fear is on the ship shot, and I need to CS the priest so he doesn't remove the fear, and then I need to coil the priest so he doesn't remove the fear. This on an alliance, if it's a horde you shouldn't commit the coil, because the guy can just will the fear at that point, and you lose the coil a 2-minute cooldown. For a 2-minute cooldown, sure, but they can't keep the pressure up. And it's this unscripted matchup that you need to learn. When they are going all in on you, your druid needs to recognize when they are going all in on you. You need to recognize when it's an all in on the druid, and if they just want to win on a 4th or 6th blind. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna do the next one, it's gonna be Disc Priest Lock. The reason being, I've heard a lot of warlocks complaining about Disc Priest Lock. I haven't really had problems with it. I think I lost like 1 DPL with Max, because it wasn't really experienced still. It was the first queue session, I think it was like one of the first few games, and I wasn't expecting that much mana regen from the priest. So which priests now have an insane amount of mana regen, so it was a really weird matchup, because what was true like a few weeks before, which was kill the priest, just doom the priest and kill him, it wasn't true in that match, so we lost 1 game against a priest lock. Other than that, we've been winning, and I'm gonna share with you guys. But yeah guys, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe still. I'm gonna do some videos in Rant. I'm also gonna work on a video on a movie, Jinsk 1. It's gonna come. Not really to showcase any skill, just to give some nice memories. I'm trying to do like kind of an homage to the old PvP videos, like Snuts, obviously, Wreckful, and yeah, and I hope you enjoy that. Whenever it comes out, it will come out before Rat. And yeah guys, just follow me on Twitch as well, so you can watch me live. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one. Peace.